All right. So as I was saying before, right now it's being recorded. We will do a continuation of our algebra. We're doing everything we have learned in this unit all together in a single question. Number 1C of your chapter 3.6 handout for multi-step says this: 46 is equal to 2 minus 8w minus 3w. Okay. For the very first question we'll do together, I will go through all of my thought process verbally, and you'll slowly see me start to skip some steps. Number 1, I want all the variable terms in one section. Negative 8w, negative 3w. They are both on the same side of the equal sign. Yay. What I do not want is the 2 there. 2 and the 4 are going to be together. If you're wondering where we are, go to the sheet that you have from yesterday. The very last page has number 1, 2, 4, and 5. It looks like this. Got it? Yeah. I'm doing every single C letter I am doing right now. Okay, there we go. So to get rid of a positive 2, I don't want the 2 on the right side of the equal sign. I am going to subtract so that this becomes a 0 pair. So in other words, I could technically rewrite this as 46 minus 2 equals a 0 minus 8w minus 3w. But as a mathematician, why would I write 0 when it means nothing anyways? It's a waste of my time. I am lazy. I'm not going to write the 0. Now I have all like terms with the variable on one side, everything else on the other side. I am going to simplify. 46 minus 2, 44. Negative 8 minus 3, negative 11. Okay. At this point, it should look familiar. I want w all alone. I will divide both sides by negative 11. My final answer is negative 4. And literally, this is all you have to show me. You do not have to show me the subtraction of 2. You do not have to show me highlighting of like terms. Any mathematician worth their salt, when they see the work that I am showing here, they will know exactly what I did because they also know algebra. You do not have to show me more than this. You could even show me less, actually. Some of you can do 46 minus the 2 in their head. No problem. That is 1C. Any questions? Okay, then let's move on. Same thing here. It might look different, but the mentality is still the same. I want all the variables together in one side. I want everything else on the other side of the equal sign. Again, I see the 4y here. I see the negative 6y here. I see a negative 13 here, and I see a plus 7 there. I want those colors to be on the same side. So you have a choice. Do you want to get rid of the 4y and make this letter free, variable free? Or do you want to get rid of negative 6y and make the right side variable free? Me personally, I like the variable on the left side. So I am going to get rid of negative 6y by adding 6y to both sides. This brings me to, so 4y, you know what? I'm going to just jump the gun. I think you can do 4 plus 6 in your head. 10y minus 13 equals 0 plus 7, which I'm not going to do. I'm just going to write plus 7. Why would I write 0? Again, negative 13 now. Plus 13, plus 13, I have 10y equals 20. And again, divide by 10, divide by 10, you get y equals 2. If you don't write all of this plus and minus business, that's okay too. This is as much as I need you to show me. This is already more than enough. But just in case you like it, I'm going to bring it all back. Any questions? Okay. Let's take a look at number 4. Number 4C. We've got variables on variables, we've got brackets, we've got things to group, we've got all sorts of terms on whatever side of the equal sign. Where are we going now? Number 4C. There's no number 6p plus 4, 8 minus p equals 22. Where do we go from here? Again, here's my thought process. You've got a p here, you've got a p there, you've got numbers here, you got numbers there. It's all over the place. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we should have p equals something at the very end. Yep. -4 to the 22. Well, be careful. Right now, the 4 is being multiplied with the bracket. So here's the thing, and a lot of students really don't like this. The only thing I told you was you got to get all the variable terms together on one side. You got to get all the numbers on the other side. How you do that is actually up to you. So a lot of students are like, oh, math is just where you have to follow exactly one way of doing things, and that's the only way you can do it. That's not necessarily true. You can choose how you want to simplify. How would you like to simplify this to make it more manageable in your head? Other people want the steps because they don't have to think for themselves. Surprise, surprise, as you get further and further into mathematics, it's more the most common courses or common subjects where you have to think for yourself. Because you won't be given instructions. It's not a manual. I'm only giving you tools that you can use in any given situation. For something like this, what could you do to make your life easier? I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. Just think about it. What could you do to make your life easier so that you can get P all alone at the end? A better question? What is keeping you from getting P alone? What is complicated about this? Right? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So in other words, how about we just get rid of this bracket because there's a lot of stuff happening and it's confusing me. So let's get rid of the bracket by applying distributive property. Right? I didn't tell you that you had to do distributive property, but hey, here's a technique that you know, and it might help solve the question. So 6p, 4 times 8, 32. 4 times negative p, negative 4p, equals 22. Oh, I sort of recognize this. What can we do now? Go ahead, give it a shot. Sure, we can do that. Do you think that might help? Even if you might be wrong, try it and be wrong, because even that will teach you something. But in this case, you're right. But yeah, even if you're wrong, try it. But you're right. 6, 4, negative 4. We can group those. And at the same time, 32 and 22 are like terms. We're going to have to group those somehow. So let's do the first one. 6p, negative 4p, that becomes 2p. Next. I haven't grouped the red ones yet. Next. Yeah. I want this positive 32 gone. So I'm going to subtract 32, subtract 32. Notice how I am not writing anything here. I'm just doing it on my calculator or in my head. I know it's going to be negative 10. While we're here, and I think you can solve this, notice how I'm also not putting an equal sign here and an equal sign here. That's not correct for equations. My equal sign is already here. Left side equals right side. I don't need you to give me an equal sign in front of it as well. That's actually not proper form. You do that for expressions for sure, but try to not write this if you already see an equal sign as part of the statement. Okay, so get p all alone, divide both sides by 2, p equals negative 5. Done. And you could check, if you're not quite sure, you can plug in a negative 5 here and a negative 5 here to see if you get the same answer. But you'll see that in action for number 5. Let's do number 5. 5c, 2 times c plus 2 equals 5 bracket c plus 1 minus 7. Okay. Goal is to write all these statements so that c equals a number. That's my goal. How are you going to unpackage this? How are you going to make it simpler for yourself? Anyone else? What's keeping you from finding C? Think for yourself here. Don't listen and wait for me. If this was a quiz question, there it is. Your goal is get C all alone. What's keeping you? Right? Yeah. Right now, there's way too many C's, right? And it's all mixed in with a whole bunch of other things. Why not make it simpler? Just get rid of those brackets because they are distracting. So we've got 2C plus 4, 5C plus 5 minus 7. And notice that I'm not saying yes or no. I'd say just try it. Especially when you get to grade 12. I can't even remember how many times I tried to go a certain way and you're like, oh, that's a dead end. And you try a different one. But if you're not okay with failing the first time, your future in math will be in jeopardy. You have to be okay with being wrong and just going through the motions. Okay? 2C plus 4 equals 5C plus 5 minus 7. Okay. Now, I'm not even going to color the like terms this time. What can we do? I need to get C all alone. But right now, I see the letter C in 2 different locations. Ooh. What would you do? How do you simplify? Right, but they're separate right now. They're opposite sides of the equal sign. Yeah, okay. You're right. I'm going to try to push everyone to get away from the words moving over to the other side and instead say, let's get rid of the 5C. So I'm going to subtract both sides by 5C. It's basically the same thing, but it does help when you get to more advanced mathematics instead of moving it to the other side. So there it is. So I'm going to solve this. No, it's okay. This is funny. There it is. What's next? Yeah, I don't want the 4 there. Minus 4, minus 4. I'm not going to insult your intelligence. I'm pretty sure on your calculator you could do 5 minus 7, and then minus 4. So that becomes -6. Right? Whether in your head or in a calculator, I know you can do it. Some of you might still want all the steps. So 5 minus 7 minus the 4. So -3c equals -6. So c equals 2. And that would be the end, except go back to number 5. What does it say? What does it say? Wow. What does it say? Find the root of each equation using pencil and paper. Check the solution. Let's check the solution. The left side of my equal sign was 2 times c plus 2. If c equals a 2, then that equals 2 times 2 plus 2, which is the same as 2 times 4, which is 8. Okay, right side. The right side of my equal side was 5 times c plus 1 minus 7. And if c is a 2, it's 5 times 2 plus 1, which is a -7, which is 5 times 3 minus 7, 15 minus 7, 8. Left side and right side are equal. So I got it right. I know c has to be 2 if this is true. That's algebra. We are reverse engineering everything. We are simplifying things because right now it's way too complicated. And then we're bringing it down and isolating a single variable so that I could figure out what the number is. So that's why people say, well, math only has one answer. It's true. But how you decide to simplify, you have to think for yourself. No one's going to tell you how to do it. You can choose whatever method works. You need to think for yourself. Any questions? Okay. That pretty much brings us to the end. I'm going to go back to this lesson here. I would like you, so this is my expectation, whatever homework you haven't done so yet, do it. Today, I would like you to try and finish all the questions that we haven't done today. That's A, B, and D for all 4 here. ABD, 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 and ABD. If you happen to finish these questions like already, some of my students from the other class did it because they thought it was homework, so they didn't have any work to do. As I said before, I do have a review sort of activity thing with algebra that I have planned for Friday. The answers are already behind Ryan. You can try that if you want. The rest of class is practice. Tomorrow's the last thing where we do something slightly on top of what we've done today. Friday's a review. Monday to Thursday is all just using it in a word problem scenario, and then we prepare for our test. That's it. This is essentially the meat and potatoes. It's the bread and butter of this unit. Okay, let's use our time wisely. We have 25 minutes before I set you free. Let's get to work.